Get this, schools in Methuen, Massachusetts are now banning the use of cell phones during class time in the upcoming year. The district, which is just over the New Hampshire border, finalized the decision last week, calling the devices, quote, addictions and disruptive to learning. This is just one of many places around the country cracking down on student cell phone use. So far this year, at least 8 states have passed laws or issued new policies to curb phone use among students. For more on this, I'm joined by Jessica Saum. She's a fellow for the Association of American Educators and an elementary school teacher in Arkansas. Bless you for what you do. And it's great to have you speak about this because your school's working on a state pilot initiative to have cell phone-free classrooms, but it's not a total ban. So what would this look like?
That's right. So I think the whole premise behind this is making decisions that are best for students. We want to keep students safe. We want to have them engaged. And these decisions really should be made with information and input from stakeholders in the community, parents, caregivers, educators, and policymakers, so we can make sure we're doing what's best for students across the state and nation.
Now, I would imagine it's a distraction for students, it's a distraction for teachers trying to instruct them, but parents might say, I need this device to get a hold of my kid in case of an emergency. So what are some of the pros and cons here?
I think that's a very valid concern, and parent voice is critical to this conversation. Of course, we want to make sure we're keeping kids safe. I think that's the #1 priority in every single school across our nation. But we also have to make sure our students are learning, and we need to keep them engaged in the learning. There are ways that cell phones have been used for that, but now so many students have access to computers and other technology devices that can be used in the same way. And I think we really are looking at, when do the phones need to be out of our students' hands? Could they be used in, a shoe holder hung by the door so you check them in when you show up to class and then can get them when you leave class, lunch, and in between times? But while we're in the classroom, while we are charged with making sure our nation's students are learning, we need to make sure that they are not distracted, they are focused, and they're being provided the safest and best opportunity to learn. And we know that cell phones can be a huge distraction, as well as some of the negative implications from them, the bullying that goes on social media. There's real issues that come with them.
Yeah, a cell phone of 2024 is not the same device of 2014. It's got notifications, it's got every fun app you can think of and all these social sites. You've got a pilot program that's underway or about to kick off at your school. So there where you are, how does it work? Do the students put their phones in a pouch or a lockbox?
Sure. Arkansas is really looking at programs and policies to support schools in doing this. And so we're really looking at what can we put in the classroom that students, again, those over-the-door shoe holders or plastic clear cases that students can put the phones in when they come to class. They check them in. Each student would have a number that correlates with their name. And then when they leave class, they have access to their phones. So families are still able to communicate. And I think we really need to be careful to make sure that we're not saying a complete ban all the time across the board, that there are students that are going to have medical needs, maybe that they're using that cell phone to keep tabs on diabetes or other medical concerns. And there's going to have to be processes and just common sense decisions made to make sure that we're giving students what they need and that we're working with parents to ensure if the student does need an exception, that we're providing that. And I don't think we're going to see much back in our schools for that at all.
Well, it's interesting because beyond being a teacher, you're a mum, you're a parent of an 11 and 12-year-old. What is the fear factor in telling your kids to put their phone away? Because some of them do physically react.
They do. I'm probably one of the more strict parents when it comes to phone, just because I have seen the negative implications across our schools of, students who constantly have it in their hand. I've felt it myself with even work obligations of, I need to be connected to my email. I need to be always available. That's not best for my kids and my family either. And so those are just conversations I think that parents have to have. And parents and our educators are coming together and saying, this is not what's best for our kids. Our kids do not need phones in their hands all the time. We know it's not good for them. We know we have to do better for their mental health.
Well, Jessica,
but I make sure this talks.
Just because we've got a few seconds left, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure it's something parents will be considering and teachers nationwide.